Alrighty. Already on hand here. So, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 61 of Shoot the Breeze, a chill interview and chill time all around for you and me. I'm your host, HeavyDivider, and alongside me here today is one of the pioneers of DJing in VRC, as well as somebody who, for funny enough, is going to be the first time me and him has ever talked to one another in VRC. We've had brushes on hand here and there for the most part, but for now, it's going to be...
Make it sound really bad.
No, I don't make it sound bad. Trust me, it's one of those things you don't know anybody on hand until you get a chance to know them because, you know, it's a small world, and especially in VRC. So, my guest for tonight here is LumiVR. Welcome on in, Lumi.
Hello. Thanks
Hello
for
there.
having me.
Yeah, not a problem. I'm glad to be able to interview you on hand here. So, let's get down to business here with the first following question. How the hell did we meet?
Oh man, you're dusting off old files right now.
Yep, it's going to be a
I mean, seeing
history.
how we barely even interact is like. Do you honestly remember?
Yes, I do. Funny enough, I was originally part of CC's group as well as I was transferring over to Arnie's group, and at one point I caught Arnie in a world that I've never been to, and you were DJing at that time in desktop. It was like an old, like, I can't remember on here, but it was like this square kind of world with a DJ floor and everything. There was a DJ
blue?
booth. It was blue, yes. It was blue. And I remember seeing a desktop player, like, over there right by the DJ booth, and then there was this giant screen, like there is one here in the background, basically somebody playing in the background. And that was my first time actually seeing you on hand. I think it was just at that time, too, I didn't really know you as much on hand, nor did I know any way I could just, like, talk to you on hand, because it's one of those things where I think you got to get to know somebody a little bit more just before you approach them, so that way you can. And, I think that was the first time you and I have ever met on hand. Past that, we've had brushes on hand where we met each other in VRC, as well as TwitchCon 2019. I've actually saw you when we were on the top floor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we were on the top floor on hand, and it was right by that wall where everybody was writing their names and everything on hand. And I just remember you walking right past me and everything. I just remember that.
Oh my god. Like, you're literally brushing off memories right now. It's like, I don't know, TwitchCon was a lot of fun. Just a lot of pretty controlled chaos is the best way I could describe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was chaotic on hand, but it was a lot of fun just to be able to get a chance to meet everybody for the first time on hand, even in person or so, which just kind of like makes the difference on hand because, you know, it brushes off like the people you know through VRC, but you get a chance to know them in real time on hand. Like, you know their personalities, but you get a chance to know them in person now. So there's that. And I think the last time I believe you and I have met before this interview was when I was hanging out with my community. Hey, we were doing Never Have I Ever. Shadow joined, then you joined, and a few other people joined on hand. And I believe this is when basically you were telling me about your side on hand of like club scenes and everything on hand for a little bit. We were talking about that, I believe. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a subject that's constantly on my mind because just. Well, before we get too deep into it, it's like it's just everybody. It's like the music scene is just insanely like vivid in the whole VRC community. It's just from when I first started playing till like now, it's literally night and day how much it's changed. It's absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it on hand, too. Like, even if I never go to too many club scenes on hand here and there, I can easily tell that it's changed on hand, especially from my distance of what's going on here and there. Like, in the sense of, like, atmosphere, too. That's the key thing. Especially so many clubs that pop up on hand here and there. But, let me ask you another question here. Let's ask about your VRChat Origins. What got you into VRC?
Oh, God. So, what was it, like? Late 2017, me and this girl I was dating at the time, we were having a small road trip down to like an hour up north because I live in Dallas. So we went an hour up north to go to a casino just because we were bored. It was like in the middle of the week. So screw it, we have nothing to do. So we go up there, and you know it's an hour drive. So we're watching I'm driving, listening to YouTube videos while she's controlling the phone, and we stumbled upon like the old Rob and Chips and Nuts videos, and just that's what kind of got me into the whole VR thing. It's just seeing how people, because like I always love doing improv and whatnot, and just seeing people like in a virtual realm and like able to move their hands and interact and like really get in depth with their character per se. It's just that just got me just freaking hooked. And like soon as we got home from the casino, next couple days we both just got freaking vibes and just went to town on it.
I got you. I was gonna say,
crazy.
how was your first experience at that time, or hand just be able to like be in VR and just be able to like move your hands around, just see all that when you were first getting into VRC?
It's I've always like been like intrigued by it because I like how back in the day, back at that time, was like, you know, PewDiePie doing the Oculus Rift stuff and like, you know, a bunch of other content creators, and just like, dude, that's like really freaking cool. So being able to actually put my head into an actual headset and just actually just look and see, it's like, it was just completely surreal, to be honest.
I got you. I was gonna say, what was the moment where you kind of decided on hand to get full body? Like, especially, like, because I know it's like, as Jeffy Bed once said, VRC is basically the most free, expensive game you can ever play on hand, because at first it starts with desktop, then it goes to VR headset, and then, you know, slowly but surely, it goes down the line of things just to kind of upgrade yourself on hand. So, what was the moment you had to do that?
I don't even want to admit how much I've actually, like, the amount of cash I've thrown at, like, VR headsets, trackers, and anything that involves VR. But, before we got full body, it's like the girl I was dating at the time actually got into the major roleplay group back in the day, like, you know, the Rob and Chips Pug RP. And so that's how I was kind of like grandfathered in, like, she pulled me in, it's like, hey, let's go RP with this big group. And so the people that we were watching on those fucking videos on the way to the casino, like, within a week we were a part of that group, and it was like, is this really freaking happening? And honestly, it's like, wasn't like, probably not even a month later, I got full body. Never used it because I just like, man, this is just clunky, I hate it. Now I just feel naked without it. But I don't know, dove pretty deep pretty quickly as soon as we stepped our toes into it.
No, I got you. There you go. Like I said, it is a slope on hand, but when it gets down to it or so, it's pretty much one of those moments where you just be able to kind of like experience anything you want to in VRC. It's just like at the full, like, almost like dot hack, just SAO style of just be able to see your hands, legs, and everything else movement-wise when the game, in the game in general. So, but, speaking of which, let me ask about your hobbies on hand here. Now, I will be honest when I say I don't know too much of your hobbies on hand, so I can only assume music, VR, maybe you might play some multiplayer games on the side that isn't VRC in general, but what is your hobbies when it comes to this, outside this game?
Multiplayer games, not so much. I will say I love to make things. I love to just build things with my hands. Like, all the DJ furniture in my room, in my studio, like, all that is built by me. Like, all my turntables are, like, literally, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, like, infused into the desk, where they're just perfectly flat with the top of the desk. It's I don't know, like, the amount of compliments I got on it, it's like, did you really make that? It's like, yeah, it's just super easy to me. It's just, I just do it for fun. And building a bed frame right now for a new bed, and I constantly love to make things, but I also like to break things a lot because I like to figure out how things work. So, like, I always have this little joke, I'm the maker and breaker of things. So, like, I do like NetSec security as a hobby, nothing crazy, just a few capture flags here and there. Just hardware hacking, stuff like that. Get me started on soldering irons. It's like, I could talk all day about it, and just like electronic components.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm showing my nerd right now.
Nah, you're fine. I mean, I understand it on hand, like, especially trying to be like your own technician on hand and have your like Humpty Dumpty moments where basically you just want to break it and see how can you reassemble it based on what was already broken, and then have moments on hand to figure out and make it better. There you go. Make it better on hand and see how it goes with it, especially depending on what you work with hardware-wise, or just be able to, like, say if it's like something very old on hand, how can you make it brand new from that oldness on hand? Like, it's usually the test.
Or make it do something it's not supposed to do, which is always a lot of fun, especially when you discover that on your own.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, you just feel a little bit of a sense of accomplishment, I guess.
Oh yeah, just be able to do something nobody ever thought about on hand too, which is interesting, especially in the sense of like taking something small and just like if somebody can't figure it out, somebody along the way will be able to figure it out and put it in a position you didn't think it would probably be possible for it to do on hand. It's just interesting. It's just interesting overall. So, but let me ask you this: what was the game that basically got you into gaming in general? Like, what got you started? Like.
It's gonna really show my age now. Probably Counter-Strike 1.6.
I got you.
So, the original Counter-Strike back in the day.
I mean, if you want me to show,
I've been.
No, I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if you want me. I mean, you mentioned about showing your age on hand. I can show my age for you on hand. Like my first game in general was playing Pokemon Blue on the Game Boy Black and White.
Oh my god. I guess I was just going on in terms of like PC gaming, to be honest. Like shit. I remember like way back when I was at my grandma's house and they had like a Super Nintendo and Nintendo Entertainment System, and just oh my god, they had to literally like pry my hands off the controller off of that thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I just wouldn't give it up.
No, I feel you. Especially when you want to be able to beat that level, or just like that certain challenge on hand that you want to take care of before you could just go to sleep, and then time goes by. It's like, oh, it's 4, 5 in the morning. Well, at least I beat it, so. But it's gonna suck going to school. But yeah, it's just one of those moments on hand. Which, funny enough, I think the last time I ever played Counter-Strike was like a long time ago, like 2011, 2010. Like I never done the old one on hand for the most part because I never was introduced to it. Like PC gaming or so, I never got introduced to it like 2010s or so because I was mostly a controller.
Mm-hmm.
I was mostly a controller person, or a console person. So there's that.
Just remember back in the day, big beige towers and big CRT monitors. Oh, I had a whole station in the corner of my room. It's just nonstop, like Counter-Strike, and was Gmod around back then?
I don't know. I think Gmod was like, I want to say 2005, 2006. Hard to say. Can't think off the top of my head, but I feel like it's around that area somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there on hand here. But do you still do PC gaming for the most part when you get time on hand for it, or is it just kind of like?
I mean, yeah. Hey, it'll always be deep into my bloodline. It's just what got me into gaming in general. It's just, yeah, I play like consoles here and there, but PC gaming is when it's just, this is me. This is my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, the sheer amount of friends I made through like online gaming and whatnot, it's just completely dwarfs like the amount of friends I've ever made on like in like school or whatever. So I was always an outsider, to be honest.
No, I feel you. I feel you on hand, especially when you wander from group to group just to be able to try to find, do you fit in this group on hand? And maybe there may be one thing, but after that, it's just kind of like, I need to go see if there's anybody else I can just kind of like, see if there's something else that I could just like remotely relate to on hand when it comes to like different groups here and there. Like, I get that feeling. I get that feeling on hand. So let's talk about the VRChat scene. Now, in this current present of where we are right now, what are your thoughts about VRChat?
There's too many goddamn DJs. Okay, I'm kidding. There's a lot of brand new DJs that are like, there's a metric fuck ton of like very talented individuals that are like bringing some new things to the VRC realm. And honestly, it's keeping me on my toes. Like, hell, what am I gonna bring to the table that's different, that's no one else is doing? Try to stand out. Just try to stay relevant per se. And that's stressful enough as it is. But with the amount of clubs also on top of that, like there's like Shelter, Castle, and like Sly Fest. Like, that was one hell of a weekend. Like the amount of effort that people are putting into like the music for VRC, because like I mean, this really like took off beginning of COVID, which we all know the reason why.
Yeah.
Because everyone was stuck at home, everyone wanted to do something, everyone wanted to party, they had to stay at home. So all these clubs and these new DJs coming out of the blue, and a lot of them are very talented, and a lot of venues are just absolutely bonkers. And honestly, like the best thing about it is like seeing everyone come together just for the love of music, especially during the hardest times that we'll probably ever see in our lives. It's really moving, to be honest. It's like, I know music is my first love, it'll always be my last, but seeing a mass of people like just in it to win it for the music, it's just absolutely like mind-boggling.
Would you ever expect that DJing would be able to blow up as it is in VRC on hand? Like, it would just basically create this, like, almost business. I just meant, like, in a business sense of it, in a game like this, of all places.
Well, if you remember any of the VRC, like, devs, talks, like, on Twitch, I believe they mentioned something about a monetary thing, like a currency built into the game or something. I can't remember, if I vaguely remember.
I just remember they're trying to establish their own economics in this game, like their own kind of like currency. So,
what? I'm thinking like it could be like starting to be like IRL, which would kind of suck because like it's a lot of fun just going to a party and just hang out with your friends. It's like, hey, do you got a virtual ticket to this party to your friends, which would kind of be kind of a bummer if you ask me. But there is a business that can be made from. I mean, there's already businesses made from, you know, DJing and VR.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I'm not really sure how the outcome would be if they start, like, charging for, like, virtual parties. I'm not sure how that would work.
I don't know either.
But
I can think, but it's all just going to be, like, assumptions on hand until they have, like, something very concrete. At this point, it's just basically just kind of, like, get an idea of what kind of thoughts it could be. That's the thing. They might have something, it just might be in the works. But we'll see once time goes by here and there. So, but, let me ask about the party scene on hand. Now, understand, I'm not much of a party person. Usually, at most, I would probably just be there just to see what everybody else is doing here and there, and then I just take my leap just because too much energy around me. But I will say, on your end, especially for what you do, what's it like in, like, party scene-wise, or just be able to witness a lot of things on hand?
I mean, it definitely varies because since there's so many freaking clubs, like, it's just like if you're not having the biggest like lineup and like act that's going on for the night, it's like you can have a really dead night or you can have a really packed night. It's like even at this place, can't remember. I think it was me and Sorry. We were DJing for 4 hours apiece, and then like. I started playing and they literally had to open 2 instances because there was like over 90 people in this place. And it was just, you know, 2 of the first DJs that were in this game DJing at a place. I mean, it's actually, no, Kiribot probably put it the best. It's like, wherever the cool kids are, that's where everybody's going to be at. It's like, a lot of time they don't pay attention to the DJs in the sense, but you know how VRC is. It's like wherever the crowd is, people will follow.
Yeah, it's like whatever the new trend is, people will follow it on hand.
Basically, it's like sometimes if I feel like we're just background noise. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to diss the whole scene. Sometimes it feels like we're background noise, but it just feels like people are usually there just because where everyone else is at.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there is like acts like, you know, for example, Ghost Data, like just saw him at like Slyfest, and everyone showed up for him and was just absolutely just killing his freaking set. I mean, I guess that also kind of plays to where IRL and VRChat. In terms of DJing, it's like if you're famous IRL, people are going to want to see you in VRChat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a guy who plays music in game, and just that's all I do, and just have fun with it.
I will say on hand, especially when I mentioned about the whole business aspect with DJing and everything, especially in VRC or so, there has been probably a lot of networking on hand to bring like certain individuals over into VRC just so they could play their set and be able to like expose what they do on hand. For the most part, when it comes down to music that made them popular, to being able to try to get used to the comfortability of VRC, I assume? Because I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are into VR.
Well, I will agree to that because like there's actually like huge headliners like who played shows all around the world that we're trying to get in contact with right now to see if they'll do a VR set. I'm not gonna say who because
that's fine
until it happens.
Classified.
But it's gonna be pretty big. It's like everyone knows this individual. It's gonna be sick if it goes through.
Well, we can only wait and see for when that happens on hand. And speaking of, when we were talking about DJing on hand, let me ask about your origins of being a DJ. What got you started into DJing on hand? How did that all start?
Oh God, I was about 15 years old, and I don't know, just got really into like rave music, like hard dance. All my friends I was 15, like I had friends that were like 17, 18 years old who were going to clubs already, and they were just like telling me about how much it's like a freaking amazing time. And I don't know, that's what kind of got me hooked. And then I was a spoiled little brat back in the day, and I got a full set of turntables, just like club issued, like top of the line shit. And every day I would just be blasting music from it and learning. So I've been DJing for about almost 15 years now. So I mean,
that's impressive.
I've been in music throughout my whole freaking life. Like through middle school, high school, I played the bassoon, jazz band with like guitar. I've always been a huge fan of music. Music's first love, always be my last. You're gonna hear me say that a few times.
No, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I will say, was there any inspirations behind DJing that kind of make you want to go like, I want to do this on hand? Like any big ones that come to mind?
I didn't really have an artist that like inspired me to become a DJ. It's just like, I don't know. I think I was just that cocky kid back in the day. It was like, ooh, I want to be the center of attention. Let's do it. And honestly, it's like I think a lot of people actually get into it like that, kind of. But a lot of them do have musical inspiration to kind of fuel that. But in my opinion, like most DJs always go to that little slight ego phase, and they just kind of get, it's like, well, I'm just another DJ. Just be humble about it. It's just we're here to play music and just have fun with it. It's not a popularity contest. Just at the end of the day, have fun.
Yeah, just be able to kind of like mostly pursue things on your own accord, but also have fun with it along the way on hand. And who knows, whatever happens on hand, it's more along the lines of if you're enjoying your set on hand for what you got to do here and there. Which, speaking of sets and everything, what is it like to be a DJ on hand? Especially in the sense of like, I'm pretty sure every DJ's got like a different style of what they do, correct? Like, be it like turntables, be it like how they, incorporate a lot of things in.
Well, the way DJing works is basically like, so you take two tracks, you get them the same beats per minute or BPM, and you make them flow into the next track like one seamless track. And in my eyes, that's literally 10% about being a DJ. So 10% beat matching, the other 90 is how you deliver it. It's your own style. So like, I couldn't tell you everyone's style because everyone is just unique in how they deliver it. But you just know how to beat match and mix the songs into one continuous track, and how you deliver it and style points that you throw into it. It's basically what DJing is in my eyes.
And I was going to say, how is it to be able to try to incorporate that on hand, especially when it's kind of like in front of a live crowd on hand, to be able to like switch tracks or be able to kind of like keep up with what kind of beat, melody, rhythm, or any sort of key signature on hand, be able to keep that up, especially in front of a live crowd?
I mean, like, I'm going to be blatantly honest, like, I feel more uncomfortable like doing an interview like this than I would like playing in front of 1,000 people. Like I've played thinking of my biggest show was like 3,000 people, and huge. And like honestly, I'm shaking more right now just doing this because I'm in my comfort zone when I'm behind the turntables. It's like
you're able to block that out.
It seems natural to me.
Like, you have the ability to be able to block it out, especially with so many eyes on you and everything, just to be able to, like, do what you gotta do, be able to be in that zone of what you'd have, like your own zen, if you will. Just be able to do what you do as a DJ and just kind of keep it going for the most part. So. Okay.
It's like, I don't know, it's like, I do struggle with, like, some mental health issues. Like, I usually just keep to myself and just, as anyone with like is fighting with mental illness, it's just like you're constantly like questioning yourself, self-doubt and whatnot. And just whenever I play music, it's just it's my therapy. It's literally like my meditation. Like when I'm DJing, I'm in this little bubble. Nothing outside that bubble matters. It's just me and the music, and I put my heart and soul into it because it's how I can vent all the bad juju in my head.
No, I get you. And I will say it's an interesting way to do it, but also I understand from it of being able to just be able to take your passion, hone it, and be able to show the world for what it is on hand. People will be able to relate to it. Maybe people may not be able to know it on hand, but when it comes down to it, it's more along the lines of just being able to enjoy and be able to show the world what you enjoy the most.
And also, like, music is a universal language. Like, you don't need to understand any language to understand music, because music is everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is everywhere on hand. So, let me ask you this. Do you have any funny or memorable moments that come to your mind when it comes to, like, say, VRC, DJing, things that basically it will stick with you forever when you think about, like, funny moments or anything in general?
It's not really VRC related, but it was actually a kind of a key point in my career as being a DJ. So I was about maybe like 3 years into DJing, and I went to this anime convention here in Dallas called Anime Fest. And so like I had demos I was passing out to people, and this is how I met my boss. My boss is a very well-known voice actor, Greg Harris. He's probably named anime. He's probably been in it or associated with it somehow. Like he's the lead voice actor in Deadman Wonderland and Heaven's Lost Property, just to name a few. He's also the purple Persian cat from Dragon Ball Z too.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
I can't remember.
The Beerus.
Names, but yes. So he's a voice actor, and he was at this anime convention, and he's also an old school drum and bass DJ. So like I went to a few anime conventions before, and I've seen him there. It's like, oh, that's really cool. So this year I decided to bring my demo. So after he was done with his set, I gave him my CD. I said, you should listen to my shit. My shit is good, yo. He quotes that till this freaking day to me. So for the next 2-3 years, I gave him a demo every year. Kept every demo. And out of the blue, he just asked me, hey, do you want to go DJ at Anime Boston? Flying me from Texas to Boston to play a show. This was 2011. And the funny moment is like just, he never lets me live that quote down. Listen to my shit is good, yo. It's like, there's not a conversation, we haven't seen each other in a while, that he won't just say that out of the blue, just fucking tease me.
I mean, if you think about it, it's also a good friendship on hand in the sense of that he remembers you from that day, so he knows your start on this whole thing and everything, so he never forgets. So
no, he also watched me grow as a DJ. Like every demo, he heard that my progression of like my skill set got better and better. He's like, you know what? Yeah, gonna fly you out to Boston. Let's throw down at a freaking anime convention, which is huge, by the way.
Which I'm pretty sure for the most part on hand was probably like one of your favorite moments, especially going all the way from like the humble beginnings of where you are in Texas to be able to go all the way over to a place you've never been to before, maybe, and then just be able to do your set there.
First out-of-state gig.
First out-of-state gig.
It was my first time out of state.
There you go.
It was. It's like I never thought it would, like just playing with turntables would ever bring me to that point. But I don't know. It's like I wasn't even 21 yet at the time, and it was just absolutely crazy.
And that definitely probably hit your core on hand, especially at like a young age, to be able to like, be able to do all that. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this question too. And I'm pretty sure everybody's got like a different motivation on hand with what they do, stuff here and there, especially for whatever you dream to do, as well as be able to fulfill it no matter how long it takes. But I'll ask you this: what is the motivation that keeps you going? especially for the things you want to do?
In what terms? Just in general?
Just
overall?
in general, for the most part, be it like DJing, being like, say if there's certain things on hand you want to work with here and there, or just like any ideas that you want to be able to like put down here and there or so. What motivates you to kind of keep that going and just all around?
I mean, honestly, just sheer love of music, just really what keeps me going. It's really the only thing that keeps me sane. It's like, I don't know, if the day I ever go deaf, I don't know what I would do with myself, to be honest. Because, like, I don't know, music has been my lifeline, in a sense, and it's literally what keeps that drive going. It's like, music is a living, breathing thing in my eyes, just like how me and you, we have heartbeats.
Mm-hmm.
Just like music has beats itself. It's like, it's a living thing in my eyes, and if I was to go deaf, I would be beyond lost.
It would be kind of heartbroken for you, just for that entirely.
Most deaf.
No, I got you. Well, hey, put it this way. You're still young. You're able to do the many things you got to do on hand, and put it this way. When it comes down to it or so, you're basically living life on the way you wanted to live it on or so. And keep in mind, life is like a vast ocean on hand. It's big, it's vast, and also, too, you can sell any direction you want to go on hand, no matter what. And the thing is, you're doing it for the thrill of it. The thrill of music, the passion of music, as well as just be able to, like, express yourself in the ways that you want to express and just enjoy it. Enjoy it on hand. So, I got you. on hand.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned about, like, VRChat Scene on hand when I mentioned, like, the current present of what we got here for the most part, but I was going to ask, too, with the current present of VRChat or so, what are some of the things that you, like, if you compare it to your first time in the past on hand when you first started to where we are here now, what are some of the things you're glad that they changed over the course of time to some of the things you wish they didn't change at all?
I'm glad they put a freaking video player, because back in the day when we first started DJing in this game, we were literally playing our mics in the Void Club, and that was our dance party.
Mm-hmm.
I even remember a couple times we even played at the box. And I'm happy they put the video players in and had kind of a Twitch integration into it. That was nice. I do remember green name tags and before the whole cameras and trust system, because I remember before, like, when we had green name tags, you change into an avatar, it would be instantly changed into it and without any, like, stutters to anyone else.
Yeah.
I miss those days. It just seems so immersive, because you didn't have to deal with, like, lag issues back then, or at least not as much as you do now.
Mm-hmm. It was
but
like...
I do... Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I was like, during that time too, where basically this was before, like, particle effects became a thing and everything, where basically it's just like your name and everything, and then it just changed the simple color to yellow, and then it's like, oh, there's my friend out in the middle of, like, everything else. Simple things. So,
I mean, I also remember, like, back when, like, we had green name tag era, like, we could, like, literally stuff this place to, like, shoulder to shoulder with people, and without any issues. It's like, it just seems like there's a lot of I wouldn't say there's a lot of networking issues. It's just like, they just gotta work out the tweaks and just hopefully we can get back to where we were before the, like, trusted system, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that I don't love this game, because I'm still in this game every freaking day.
Yeah, I love this game too. I love the emotional connections with the people you have around the world or so, which, again, it's still one of the most impressive things, just to be able to talk to somebody, like, from a different state, maybe a different country, maybe from, like, you being in the North Hemisphere all the way over to where, well, not North, but some different hemispheres on hand for the most part. So, just be able to see that on hand is pretty much amazing to me when it comes down to it. So, but, anything you're looking forward towards? Anything coming up or anything that you got planned that you want to try to do?
Besides that, the headliner we're trying to get, not really much. It's just, I just want to keep playing music and hopefully just, you know, keeping it relevant and, you know, trying to make someone's night through music, basically.
I got you, man. You're just pretty much going with the flow of it and just enjoying wherever it leads you. I feel you. I feel you, man. So.
Yeah, I do have my own girls, though.
Yeah, you do. There you go. And just be able, like I said, just enjoy what you're doing. So that's key. Always key on hand. So, here comes the curveball that I want to throw to you on hand. Now, this is a curveball because anybody's got a different opinion on hand for it, no matter what it is or so. Let's talk about anime. So, let's talk about anime.
It could be very biased because I kind of work in the anime industry.
No, it's all good. There's a 3-part question to this anime question, but I'll start with the first one. First and foremost, when I say the word anime, what's the first series that comes to your mind?
Oh man, you're really putting me on the spot.
Nope.
The 2 animes that like I've just been, I even like rewatched, binge watched. It's probably like Fire Force and Heaven's Lost Property and Twin Star Duo.
Twin Star Duo.
Is that what it's called? What is it? Twin Star Exorcist? Twin Star Exorcist. That's what it is.
Okay, I got you. I got you on hand.
But those are like some of the animes that instantly popped in my head.
No, I got you. I got your hand. Fire Force is one that I need to get a chance when I get a chance to watch on hand.
It's so good.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that I've been sitting down and watching with my brothers on hand, basically watching Soul Eater, which is something I've never got a chance to watch. And I'm now getting a chance to watch it on hand, and who knows, after we get the whole thing watched, we might see Fire Force too, since it's made by the exact same studio. So there's that. But the second question with that anime one that I was going to ask you is, if you had a top 3 or top 5, doesn't have to be in any order, top 3 or top 5 animes that are for you for the most part, what would those be?
Could be movies also.
Yeah, it could be movies.
2, which is probably the most generic movies, is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas and Silent Voice.
Okay.
You ever seen Let Me Eat Your Pancreas? It's
No.
Such a good movie. And I cry every time. Sorry.
No, I got you.
But I go in total like water fountain mode.
No, I got you. I've never heard of it on hand, but I need to watch it when I can.
Oh, you gotta. It's a really kind of a short movie. It's really good. Another 3 is probably Twin Star Exorcist. You're really putting me on the spot.
I mean, even if you have to go for top 3 or so, you can or so. Like, even if it takes time for you. So.
Yeah, I think I was going with those 3.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I know about Silent Voices on hand because that's been a few people's favorite movie on hand just for, the message of it and just like the emotional connection on it. And speaking of emotional connection, my third question to this whole thing is, what is the anime that hits you close to home? Like when you watch it and everything, you just feel it on a personal level.
Really should have thought of this. I don't know. That's actually a really good question. I don't even know myself right now.
That's all good. Hey, who knows?
That's something I would have to really think about.
That's all good. Hey, put it this way. It might come to you when you least expect it on hand. And sometimes it may be a movie you've never seen before that just kind of like hits you when you least expect it to. When it comes down to it on hand.
True that.
So, this leads me to my last question on hand. And I'm going to bring this camera over to you really quickly. And basically, I'm just going to turn it towards you for this because this is going to be for you on hand here. But basically, the question I had... Well, the question I have on hand here, let me just bring this over, is what are your goals and dreams? And at best, what is the best advice you can ever give to anybody? I'm going to let you have center stage for this.
Yeah. Honestly, I think my real goal is just to hit partnership, because it's not really for me. While yes, it's a personal goal, but the reason why I want to hit partnership is for something that I can share with the community of VRC. But I'm gonna keep that to myself because I don't want someone to steal my idea. But I don't know, it's just something I just want to give back to say thanks for, you know, what we've built in terms of like music and VRC. And that's really my goal. It's not even really for me, it's for, I want to do it for everybody. And the best thing I could leave people with, never give up, because sometimes it has to get worse before it gets better. But I mean, good things happen to the ones who just fucking hold on.
No.
So just stick through it. It gets better.
No, I got you. I got you on hand. And hey, put it this way, and I want to throw this out to there on hand, just as the example proof on hand, especially for what you've done, for the most part. You've been DJing for 15 years. 15 years. You still hang on, and you do what you love on hand. And that right there is a testament. That's a testament of basically what you love and care about, and also what you want to be able to do on hand. And you didn't give up. That's something to be able to like take with you on hand for the most part. Make that your symbol for the things of what you can do on hand, no matter what it is. And you proved it. You proved that on hand. Not only to your community on hand, but for those like in IRL, or just for like an entire crowd of people. Like, even if they don't know you personally on hand, they should be able to know your story, just for the fact that of how far you've come from that kid who was 15 years old that wanted to do something to where you are now and doing something on your own. Here you are. So there you go. And you're still going. Yeah, and you're still going. That's the key thing. You're still going. You're trying, but here's the thing. For all things in the world or so, that's the only thing we can always do is try, and we do it one step at a time, at our own pace, at our own way. Pave the road you want to walk on.
Absolutely.
So, but before we go, and before we head off before we before we end your interview on hand, I have to ask everybody in chat, does anybody have any questions for Lumi here on hand? If you guys want to ask him, like any questions you want to ask him on hand, and see if you have any questions you wanted to ask him for a while on hand. Speaking of and while I'm waiting on everybody here to have any questions for Lumi here, let me ask you this. The name Lumi, where did it come from?
So the girl I mentioned earlier, how we got into VRC, we were, I think we were playing Rust or Counter-Strike or something, and I named myself Illuminati for fuck all reasons, and just people called me Lumi for short, and it just kind of stuck.
Just kind of stuck on hand?
Just stuck.
No, I got you. I feel you on hand. No, it's all good, Z. It's all good, Z. Even if I say all your questions on hand, at least you guys are having a good time on hand, just to be able to like listen in, and just hear how it is on hand. But yeah, Kiri wants to ask you a question, being, what is your favorite pickup line?
I fucking hate you, Kiri. Oh god, it's so inappropriate though. Trying to come up with something besides that.
For the record, just so you let you know, this whole stream's 18 plus, really. So when it comes down to it, or so, it really isn't gonna hurt me on hand for what it is. So you're fine.
I don't do pickup lines, so I just have the most like the dumbest fucking pickup line ever, which is basically nice shoes, wanna fuck. I don't use pickup lines.
Hey, at least you're
talk to people.
Hey, at least you're not me at my most dyslexic moment where it could be like, nice fuck, want a shoe? So, just saying. At least you're not in my At least you're not in my most dyslexic moment where I can just combine two things together. So it'd be all good. So.
Hey, if you can roll with it and make it work.
Yeah, if you can make it work. That would be the greatest story on hand if you think about it. I messed up on a pickup line. I messed up on a pickup line, and it somehow got me somewhere. Imagine that.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions on hand that you guys want to ask Lumi? That if you guys want to say? But I will say, too, while they're coming up with questions on hand for what they got to on hand, I will ask this. What was your first gig as a DJ? That kind of got you started?
I'm actually gonna roll out like house parties just because that's a random bullshit house parties.
That's fair.
My first gig that I was proud of was probably this club called it was called Club Afterlife, and that was the first club that actually had like a residency at. Like every weekend I was playing there, and we'll stay till like Tuesday afternoon before all the staff members is like, all right, we're closing doors, let's get the fuck out of here. And yeah, like every weekend from like 2008 2009, one of those two, all the way to 2011.
2011?
What it closed down?
Okay.
I can't fucking remember anymore. It's like, oh my god, I'm getting old.
No, that's fine. I mean, you pretty much like kept DJing there till like until it was shut down for the most part. So you were kind of like there, not at its beginning, but pretty much at its end for whenever it was doing that. So.
The city of Dallas closed us down because they said we were the Walmart of drug use. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like every club in Dallas Metroplex has freaking drugs in their clubs. It's like you're singling us out because we have fresh 18-year-olds going to the club for the first time. That's why you're targeting us.
No, I got you. I got you on hand.
Because we don't want to wear like suits and ties to like a freaking club, or you go in rave gear.
No,
more like an underground rave scene where the club I was going to.
No, I got you. I got you on hand. It was an unfortunate event on hand for that to happen, but hey, put it this way, we probably got like some good memories.
I cried.
Yeah, that the emotional connection with
beautiful.
it. Emotional connection with it. So,
it was actually a funny story, real quick about that.
Sure.
It was actually the first. It was the first party that I ever attended that got raided by a SWAT team.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so you know the online sensation YouTube video of Charlie the Unicorn?
Yeah, Yep, I remember.
So we threw this party called Candy Mountain. We had a big, like, 4 huge ass plywood like stacked on top of each other and then cut out to be shaped of a huge ass pink candy mountain with all the lollipops and unicorns and blah 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 blah. And like, so the city of Dallas caught wind that we were throwing a party called Candy Mountain. They instantly thought drugs, not a YouTube viral video. So we literally had 2 helicopters, the whole Dallas SWAT team.
Jesus.
I remember walking down, we call this the hallway in the club to go to the courtyard. I'm walking down the hallway and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I was probably under the influence or something, but I had my big fat rave pants, green fuzzy stars on them, and candy up and down my arm, big candy kid, and then I'm like walking down the hallway all disoriented, and all of a sudden I just see this door swing open at the end of the hallway with a female cop and a male cop with M16 rifles, full SWAT gear, and I was like, on the knees. They all just like, so basically like this place was packed. Like there's at least like 1,200 people there. And they all made us gather in the courtyard and we're all sitting on the floor watching the helicopters like circling the sky and we're all just fucked up. It's just, it was hilarious to be honest, to say the least.
Good lord.
They didn't find any drugs that night and that was the best part. They wasted all that money for nothing.
They could have just like sent somebody over and just kind of like ask questions and then just basically determine it on there, but apparently not from the way it is.
They thought it was a whole fucking drug operation just by the name itself.
Jeez. Based on assumption for that or so. I don't think the first thing that popped in your mind is like the moment that door swinged open and then there's like the people there with the M16s. Like the first thing to pop in your mind is, I don't suppose you guys are escorting me to the stage, are you? Because that'll be a hell of an entrance.
No, actually, believe it or not, I wasn't not DJing that night.
Oh, okay.
But I was honestly, when that door swung open, I was blinded because flashlights at the end of the rifles. I'm like, and then I just heard, get the fuck on the floor. I'm like, okay.
Good lord. Yeah, fair enough. Jeez. I ain't gonna argue, guys, or so. You're blaming me with lights, and they're not stage lights. So
Just don't put a knee in my back, please.
fair enough. Yeah, fair enough on hand. So Kiri's got a serious question on hand, and that's being, where's an event that you would like to play that you haven't yet?
IRL?
I believe IRL.
There's 2 places. The first one that I will always pick over the other one I was going to mention will be HID in the Sun in Santa Mar, Spain, which is like a week-long raving holiday for hardcore music. And the other one would be actually no, there's 3. I'm gonna give a 3 answer on this one.
All good.
One is Rampage, which is a huge drum and bass party in the Netherlands, I believe. And the other one is Masters of Hardcore, which is a huge like gabber and Frenchcore party, also in the Netherlands. See, like all the Netherlands and like Spain, it has like all the amazing parties. US has got jack shit.
No, I got you. Man. I'm trying to remember, in the Netherlands, I think I saw that festival on a video. It was like a weird viral video that basically they had the entire crowd to a certain bass on hand to basically move to the left, move to the right, and there was like all of them right. Yeah, all of them just crowd basically your crowd control on it. It was like the most amazing thing to look at because they were so synced. Right. Yeah, they were so synced together.
It is like,
God.
I'm surprised no one got hurt because I figured someone would have got trampled on just by the sheer amount of people just doing that in sync. If one tripped, you figure like they would be just completely like, domino effect on that person.
I think they said earlier on, just like, if you're going to be doing this event or so, basically like, put your arm next to the person on hand, the other person, because that way if you fall, at least you have somebody to lean on or make sure you don't fall over. So I believe that might have been it because they were like interlocked on hand just to be able to do this.
But even in those, like, people could be in like on crutches, or there could be a handicap, like, someone in a wheelchair. It's like, because it's an all access event. It's like, I remember going to like Ultra Music Festival down in Miami, Florida, and like there's a guy like almost like maybe like 5 feet from the center of the stage, from the front of the stage, dead center, and he's in a wheelchair, and like all these people are just like holding him up.
Jeez.
Like, I'm not, dude. It's like, dude. Then that's the power of fucking music, man. It's just, it unites us as freaking one. Like, you can be handicapped, normal, mental illness, whatever. It's like you can be the weirdest guy or the most popular guy, and you will be accepted by a crowd of people loving there for the one sound, and that's the beauty of it. It's like the amount of tears I've like shed just like going to a party, and just, for example, like Ultra Music Festivals. Like, I went to go see Armin van Buuren at the State of Trance 500, and just that right song at that right moment is enough to make the hardest motherfucker to shed a tear if he's into the music. And that's the beauty and power of music.
Damn on hand. I will say, it's like I said, music does bring people together on hand or so. And in any case or so, it also makes somebody's day on hand. Like the guy you mentioned in the wheelchair that basically got lifted by an entire crowd just so you could just see that. It's like they're giving that person the thrill of a lifetime just to have. Even
look up the Ultra Music Festival and Ultra Music Festival wheelchair guy, and fucking it's all over YouTube, and it's a very powerful freaking video.
I got you. I don't know. I'm just gonna do a last call really quickly. If anybody has any questions you want to ask Lumi, for the most part, just so we have it on hand. But I will say too, for the most part, depending on where you're gonna go DJing wise or so, and depending on what it is, being in VRC or IRL for the most part, I will ask this: by the end of it, on hand or so, is there a certain like DJ you would ever want to meet that you could try to do? I don't know if there's such things as DJ collabs on hand, but want to be able to meet on hand just to be able to like DJ with.
There's a lot of them. Probably like anyone from like Brisk, Searle, Alex Prospect, like a lot of the hardcore crew, the major like iconic hardcore like pioneers. It's like any of them, I would love to do a back-to-back set with them. I think that would be just absolutely bonkers.
I got you on hand. Like I said, for the most part, when it comes to like DJ scenes or like certain stuff I'm not familiar with it, but it's one of those things where I begin to learn little by little about certain stuff here and there, so it's always going to be interesting. Just like, I feel like the first time experience for the whole thing is when you go to one of those events. That way you get the full experience of what it's like and just like take it all in. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for when that happens. So go ahead.
Also, in before Curie asked when the fuck are we getting ice cream, because I know her too well.
Actually, they were asking, when is the Twitch singing streams, Lumi? Oh.
Never. I don't sing.
Good. I mean...
Last time I sang on, like, live on stream, I was insanely inebriated.
Ooh.
And I sounded probably like a foghorn in the middle of traffic.
Good lord. And I'm pretty sure, we'll put it this way, even if you'd ever want to on hand for the most part, it's also going to be one of those moments where your chat is always going to remember you for that on hand, even if it's like the most embarrassing thing for you.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Even if it's the most embarrassing thing on hand for the most part, it's going to be something memorable from them because they know you for that. Put it this way, they know you for your best, for, that's a good connection. For your worst, that's the great connection on hand. So there's that.
I will say this though, it's like, I have probably one of the greatest communities ever. It's like, for all the bullshit that I put them through, and they're still sticking around, it's like, I am internally fucking grateful for my whole community. It's like, cause I'm not gonna lie, I'm a loose cannon. And it's just me battling my own self at times, and I take it out on my community.
I got you.
At the end of the day, I still love them to death, and it's just, and they know that's not, personal towards them. It's just me just lashing out because, I'm just battling my own demons. But I'm still grateful they are still by my side no matter what, and I wouldn't give them up for the world.
And put it this way, you got people there that are willing to listen. You got people who are willing to listen just to hear what's going on with you. Do you want to have time to sit down and talk about it on hand? Just so they can listen and be able to help you, process for the whole thing, just to be able to get you right over your demons on hand. There's going to be times where you're going to be down, but your community and those you have close to you are going to be right there with their hands. Are going to be right there with their hands out, be like, hey, want to talk? Just pull, and just so you can grab that hand, be able to pull yourself back up.
Absolutely.
And those are treasures. Those people are a treasure for you. So, a second. I made him put it as a sub goal once, and we hit it so hard he had to do it. It was good fun. That was from Curie, for the whole Twitch singing thing. So.
Wait, oh god, I remember that now. That was like what, almost 2 years ago. Holy shit.
A lot of time on that. On hand. So, I don't see any more questions on hand. So I will say, with this in mind, that will be episode 61 of Shoot the Breeze. So thank you guys very much.